Celtic way, Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Post-match reaction, as Ryan has put the headline here, Palma perfection as champions hit Dons for 6. I'm Tony Haggerty, at Haggerty10 on the Twitter handle, as you all know by now, and I'm joined by Ryan McGinlay, at the Ryan McGinlay, live from Parkhead, a dark Parkhead, but it looks like Ryan, dark and cold.
I'm in my car now because
you're in your car, yes, indeed. We will talk about 6 of the best in a minute. We always big up our sponsors, so we say thank you to MPH Group. This post-match briefing is brought to you by MPH Group and their Scotland's award-winning family-run all-trade specialist covering all of mainland Scotland, and every service you opt for automatically enters you into MPH's incredible holiday giveaway, and you could win a 7-night stay at the luxurious 5-star Moon Palace Resort in Cancun, Mexico. And not only that, with winter rolling in, if you're thinking of giving your home heating system a boost, MPH has an enticing Navien Boiler Winter Promotion just for you. And when you opt for a Navien Boiler installation through MPH Boilers, not only are you choosing top-tier efficiency, but you're also getting a free Navien Internet Controller, and that little gadget can crank up your boiler's efficiency to an impressive 98%. And the cherry on top of that is that they're covering the first year service with no added costs. And if you're wondering why Navien, well, they're gunning for the product of the year at the H&V News Awards, which is the Oscars of the heating world. And to top it all off, the Navien ON range comes with a 12-year parts and labour warranty to give you some serious peace of mind right there. So a big shout out to MPH because they're nominated for the Small Company of the Year at the same awards. And the MPH even offer flexible finance options. So in order to gear up for a winter chill, consider making a smart move with MPH and Navien, and you'll find all the links to MPH's social media sites and telephone number in the description of this video. Ryan, Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Lots to talk about, lots to purr over. Palma, Yang, Matt O'Reilly. Well, actually, not a failure in the Celtic team. Where do you want to start? Where would you like to start? Or should we just start chronologically and take the goals?
We could go through the goals. We could go through the goals, and then we can talk about individual players, because when you get to the first goal, you know, we're automatically going to be talking about an individual player in Lewis Palma for the ball into Yang. I think we should start there. Start with the first goal, you know, because I think it's a great team goal. The first 2 goals in particular are really, really good team goals, and I enjoyed watching them very much. That first half, I just want to, just before I forget, that first half was the best football that Celtic have played this season, in my opinion. Those cutting passes from the midfield into the attacking areas. Matt O'Reilly completely dominated proceedings. I don't think enough can be said, and I think it's easy to forget about Matt O'Reilly's performance because Palma was so good at full time.
He dominated.
He was absolutely tremendous.
That much that we never even mentioned him in the instant analysis, Ryan, apart from the fact that he got assist for Kyogo's goal. But yeah, he was excellent.
Because it's business as usual for Matt O'Reilly. This is just what Matt O'Reilly does, and I think it's something that we're going to need to start saying for the first player that we talk about. It is business as usual for Lewis Palma to be involved with goals and assists in a game.
That's what we wanted from Lewis Palma in terms of the Jota replacement. We wanted him to replace the goals and assists, and that's what we're getting with Palma. He was excellent today, as was Yang. Contribution from those two can't be underestimated. Brendan Rodgers mentioned the two of them, and I said in the kind of a tweet that I put out that it was Lewis Palma and Yang that piled on the agony and put on the style today for Celtic, and it's no surprise that Lewis Palma got the man of the match, but he was run close by Yang, I thought, for the man of the match. You said we'll also find a penalty taker, and Lewis Palma wasn't too keen in his run up, and he's fiddling about but he did dispatch it, so I'm happy with that. So, you know, lots of comments coming in already, Ryan. 50 people joining us. Thanks very much, guys. Dennis Jameson, what a performance today. Just what everyone was hoping for after what happened on Tuesday. Hazel finished 67. Great performance. Loved the goal scorer. Spot on. Palma was immense. Yep. And the cutting, no-look passing vision from Yang for that second goal. By the way, let's talk about that. We will talk about that. Blake 1-on-1. But what a bounce back, Ryan, from the depths of despair on Tuesday night to tonight. Another devastating domestic display.
Lows to high.
Yeah, and the manager said that. He said it in his after-match interview that what he does with the players is they get a 24-hour grieving process from the results, or a bruising result like the one in the Champions League, and then they're back on it the next day, or 24 hours later, as he said. So I think from very early after the Atletico Madrid game, the players have been focused and their minds have been switched to the Aberdeen match, and they certainly came out the traps today. I thought they were excellent from the get-go. 6-0 didn't flatter them, could have been a lot more, but also as well, I think we spoke about it at the start as well. You brought it up in a pre-match that they took advantage. Aberdeen looked a tired team, didn't they? But you've got to
bullied them today.
Yeah, got to put them to the sword, haven't they? So
I think they smelt blood very, very early on.
Yeah.
They knew, they could see the tiredness. Even Graham Shinnie wasn't getting about the park like he usually does for those games. I tuned into Chris Boyd's comments after the game, who was absolutely raging with
yes, he was,
with Aberdeen's efforts or lack of efforts in the game. I think it was partly down to that, but also you can't take away from Celtic's performance on the day. They were devastating when it mattered.
Yeah.
Their players, their main players, came to the fore. We could talk about that second goal, how difficult a finish it is from Kyogo. It's a wonderful finish. Yang in that goal deserves an assist. I know it'll be Matt O'Reilly that gets the assist, but it's that cut and pass from Yang that just makes all the difference.
It's just opened that defence up. It's an exquisite through ball. The no look, as Blake 101 said there in the comments. It's just a brilliant reverse pass, slide rule into his path, and Matt O'Reilly puts it in there, knowing that if Kyogo's doing what he usually does, that trademark run, but he just makes the finish look so simple, and it's really difficult because there's a defender there.
Bread and butter.
He's got to beat the defender to it. Also got to, switch his leg to make sure he makes the correct contact to just tap it in. It's just everything about it's superb, and it's it's a trademark run. You've seen it so many times, but it's just such a difficult thing to do. Yet he makes it look so simple. The whole move was very simple, but it was delightful football from Celtic for the first couple of goals.
Yeah, it was so accurate and so devastating. As I said, the first 45 minutes was some of the best football, if not the best football that Celtic have played this season. I think the first half against Atletico would run that quite fast. But in terms of domestic performances, it's between that and the Kilmarnock game for Celtic playing their best football. I just think everything was it was controlled today. They knew that Aberdeen were tired, and they played on that, and they had them chasing the game for the entirety. That's why Celtic got another 3 goals in the last 10, 15 minutes, because they played on Aberdeen. They knew that they were shattered, and
that's why Chris Boyd was apoplectic, because Aberdeen play Rangers next week, didn't he? They made the point they'll be a different team. I was laughing at that. He was really beside himself. So it's always good when Celtic do that and wind Big Boyd up. I think it's quite funny because he can't hide it, can he? So it's always a joy to watch. It's always funny to see him getting wound up. But no, Celtic were excellent today. You cannot take away anything from them. I'm just going to read some more comments. Sending short coming in. Palma's getting better every game. Yang was quality too. Brian McCoy, good day today, lads. Palma was superb, and Yang's got Yang. Long may it continue. Yeah. And Dennis Jameson comes in and says, hope Kyogo's okay after his head knock. No, I don't know about you. I watched it in real time and I've seen the slow-mos. I think that's a red card. I think it's endangering an opponent, and he has gone in and he's clattered into Kyogo, and he's gone down with the old I'm hurt as well, and Willie Collins bought that. But when you see it in real time, it is, or even slow motion, slowed up, I think it's really dangerous. I think he's a very lucky man to escape a red card. Don't like advocating getting players sent off, but I think he's really endangered Kyogo there, and he's cannoned into his head. He hasn't just, it's not a collision. He has cannoned into his head at speed and force.
Yeah, instantly when it happened, Matt O'Reilly was signalling for the physios to come onto the pitch. I was like, he's knocked him out here. He's clean. Yeah. He's clean out. He was on the ground for a good 5-6 minutes. Just so turned out that that 5 or 6 minutes caused all the problems for Aberdeen, and on the other end when they get given that as added time. There's a lot of stoppages in the game, but when Celtic could, not to take away from the point that you've made or anything like that whatsoever, but the stops in the game, I mean, they stopped Celtic from scoring, because Celtic looked like scoring every single time they went through on the pitch, and that added time at the end made it a fairer reflection on the scoreline, because it was a 5 or 6-0 game. It wasn't a 3-0.
It made it fairer reflection in terms of the scoreline, in terms of the dominance. Basically, I would thought in more emphatic scoreline, it deserved that, as you say. Let's make a couple other. Tarmac, that Palma shoe shine celebration was wonderful.
Absolutely, but I loved every bit of that.
Edward Moore, good on you, Edward. He had Kyogo any time and 6-0 at 55-1. Top man, Edward. Enjoy spending your winnings. If you're going to gamble responsibly, of course, but obviously a happy man. Yeah. Hazel Finn, she gave in second guessing the officials. How Rubic stayed in the park was beyond me. Kyogo was badly injured. He was. But that badly injured that he's not going away with Japan. Brendan Rodgers confirmed that he'll stay with Celtic and let the medical team look after him and just make sure nurse him back to fitness. Scott Dougal was disappointed at the 6 goals. He had 5-0. And TG Lindy saying,
I will never be disappointed with a 6 goal.
Yang's matured since he's arrived already. But there you go. Horrible to see, says Blake Owen, heart sinking when things like that happen on the pitch, talking about Kyogo's injury. And Edward Milson, Yang, well done today, first goal for Celtic. Yep, he was. Cracking goal as well. Great crossover by Palma, who everything he touched seemed to turn to goal today. It was just one of those excellent performances all round by the team. I think the players felt as if they owed the supporters something today, and they certainly gave them it, put Aberdeen to the sword. You know, they just didn't get a chance to get a foothold in the game. And it's amazing what that early goal does, doesn't it? I mean, the game was finished in 16 minutes, wasn't it? I didn't see Aberdeen coming back. I messaged you, didn't I, and said this could be anything at once here at one point. And that wasn't arrogance, just the way Celtic were playing. They were always on the front foot. They were always looking dangerous. And Aberdeen just couldn't cope. And I was delighted at the response to Tuesday night. You're always kind of worried that there's going to be some kind of hangover, that horrible use of that Euro hangover type phrase. But I thought Celtic were, in every area of the park, they were excellent today.
Yeah, they really were. There was so many individual performances. You know, we were talking about, or Brendan Rodgers rather was talking about, he was a very, very, very good today, a very, very good player on his day. That could have been 3 or 4 players he was talking about after that game today. It could have been Palma, could have been Yang, could have been O'Reilly, could have been Kyogo, could have been O coming off the pitch. Odenholm to a certain extent. Maybe Odenholm's the one player that didn't really. And I thought he had glimpses in the first half, but
unlucky not to score, Ryan. It's unlucky not to score.
Very much so. It was a good save from Kelly Roos, who is a good goalkeeper. But I did think he was quite quiet in the game, and that was maybe down to the fact that O'Reilly was completely dictating things in the middle of the park. Now, it's not a slight on Odenholm, because he's not Matt O'Reilly yet. Matt O'Reilly's the premium midfielder in Scottish football at the moment. He is the star man in the middle of the park. Odenholm's got a lot to learn to get to that level, but he's in the right place to learn. You know, from one fellow Scandinavian to another, they can certainly help each other in their respective developments. I can't think of anyone better to learn off of than Matt O'Reilly for Odenholm. I think the sky's the limit for the player. There was that lovely run that he made that Johnny Hayes had to quite literally take him down, because he was going walkabouts. He was going on an adventure with that ball at his feet.
I think you saw a lot of master classes today. There's 2 wing master classes from Palma and Yang. There was a midfield master class from Matt O'Reilly. There was also defensive master classes from Cameron Carter-Vickers and Scales, just concentration and all that, and just staying alert at all times. And also, I thought Kyogo, when he was on the park, a striking masterclass, because he was always there or thereabouts and linked to play. Even had a couple of digs at goal that Kelroos saved. Could have scored, probably should have scored. And that movement for the goal, you can never underestimate that movement for his goal. It's just brilliant. And as I say, he makes the hardest thing on a football pitch, actually nipping in to score. Look, it's so easy. And also Turnbull's contribution when he comes on. I mean, that's a wonderful daisy cutter he's hit. Just right in the corner. Keeper's no getting it. And just
scored in his last 3 domestic games.
Yes, 3 domestic games in a row. And just pulling them out the bag at will, Ryan. So another potent weapon and somebody who I would be loath to let leave the club. Now, I know other people say there's various other deficiencies in his game, but the one thing he does give you is a dig from 20 odd yards, and he's pretty lethal from that range.
That's his sweet spot.
He's got an incredible talent for picking one out, as they say, and drilling them low, curling them high. Doesn't really matter, but he usually gets his shots on target. So I'm willing to persevere with Turnbull and keep him and let him keep coming on, making impact and doing those kind of things that he does when he comes on. And then when he starts games, you have to say to him, look, time you grab this by the scruff of the neck. Look at him, look at Matt O'Reilly, look what he does. Just kind of learn there. But I still think Turnbull's got a lot to offer Celtic, and another cracking strike today. So don't want to let the briefing go by and not talk about his contribution as well. Because I thought it was excellent. Yeah, to be fair, the whole team.
It was a really good contribution. I think for that reason, I think I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm not one for wanting players to leave for that. But if Turnbull isn't going to... Turnbull's at an age now, what is he, 24, 23, 24 years old? He'll be wanting first team football. I think, he'll be wanting to be playing every single game. If he's not going to get that at Celtic and he doesn't want to sign a new contract, then you're better off cutting it off in January rather than letting it lie until the summer, in my opinion. I don't want to lose Turnbull because I think he offers something different. He's still got to get that consistency, but maybe that consistency has arrived now. He scored in his last 3 games, that consistency we're talking about. If there was a next game, I think he would have been starting if there wasn't an international break. This is his problem. His timing's a bit terrible because awful timing, because he comes off the bench, scores a goal, has a pretty decent performance. A couple of things he can do better with. He's not going to be as fast as Odenholm, Matt O'Reilly or Rio Hatate with the ball at his feet, but he's a dead ball specialist. Or whenever he gets into that wee semicircle, see the semicircle just beyond the penalty spot, that is his sweet spot. If he can hit a shot anywhere there, he's going to score. He's going to score 9 times out of 10.
That's when he's quickest. He can shift a ball from his feet and get it on target really quickly. He's adept at doing it. See him do it from Motherwell.
The quickest thing he can do, because he's not very fast with other things.
Yeah, of course, but it's not such a bad thing to be quick at, is it? From the D and further out, that you can, rattle the ball into the net. So I just think things like this are worth their weight in gold, Ryan, and I'd be loath to sell him. I really would. I think the manager's got an uncanny knack of keeping players happy and telling them you will still play, you'll still get minutes. It just depends on his personal ambition, doesn't it? That if he does want to play regular first team football, then you might have a problem. But I don't think he's the kind to agitate for that, is he? He's not come out and, he's not come out in the press and said anything of that ilk, and doesn't seem to me to be a troublemaker. In the dressing room, Matt O'Reilly, when he did play at the start of the season, scored a couple of goals, I guess, around Ross County. He said nobody deserves it more than him. So I think he's also well liked in the dressing room. So, all those boxes are ticked. You just know there's so much more from him, or he could produce more, don't you? But when he's scoring goals like that, I think that maybe not infuriates you, the wrong word, but you get a bit kind of, that's what you've got.
That's
in your
what
locker.
You can do. That's what you can do.
That's what you've got in your locker, and you want to see more of it, don't you? Well, I certainly do. 91 people joining us, Ryan, almost 100 people joining us. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate your time coming on here and talking about Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Lots to smile about, lots to get excited about, and lots to enthuse about, which is all we can ask for. When you go, sorry, Ryan?
Absolutely. Celtic, three of the 4 players in the SPFL top goal scorer play for Celtic at the moment. James Tavernier's up there as well with 6 goals, but David Turnbull, Kyogo Furuhashi and Matt O'Reilly all have 6 goals at the moment. There's goals all over the park, and the Turnbull, it doesn't lie, the stats don't lie. But Turnbull, you give him a shot, especially outside the box or a penalty, He's good in these situations. He's good in when he's got space. He can operate. He can make things happen.
Oh, score your goals as well. Don't forget, he was in the right
Yeah, I
place at
want
the
to
right
talk about
time.
him.
And yeah, I thought he had a valid contribution with come on. I mean, he couldn't really miss with a header because it's put right on his head. A pinpoint sumptuous cross from Palma. Not another one of many brilliant things he did today, but the second goal that O scored, what a pass that was, Ryan. Just total defence splitter, and then O just runs through and just says,
It's the
he runs out of options. It's the old just stick it in the net when you run out of options, and we'll worry about your options later. But just sticks it away. It's a confident striker running through there and putting it in the net, isn't it, for 6? That hunger and desire to make it 6 again as well. No?
I think he was hungry because there was that desire because he didn't score against Ross County. Now, he could have easily went into his shell, could have came on, cut a wallflower, cut a quiet figure on the pitch. But he had that time to settle into the game because of Kyogo's injury. He had a good 35 minutes on the pitch. He was trying to make things happen. It was quiet up until he got his goal, and then it's as if all the pressure in the world had went off his shoulders. He's definitely a confidence player.
Yeah.
You give him deliveries like that, you give him an undefendable ball, of which Palma produced for 2 South Korean players today, in Yang and O. Those undefendable balls that he can put into the box, they're a striker's delight. They're a dream. They're a dream for players to just get on the head of.
Yeah, with Wingers, it's all in the delivery, isn't it? So, Barry Morrison coming in. Hiya, Barry, how you doing? Great result. Too many standout players to mention. Well, indeed. And Francis Lester, how you doing, Francis? Great performance, lads. Palma, O'Reilly and Yang were impressive. And Big O made an impact. Great stuff. Exactly. That's exactly what we're saying.
See the sixth goal. It's amazing to even say that. The 6th goal of the day. Get so many good things to talk about. But the 6th goal on the day from O, I was so confident that he was scoring, and I've not felt like that this season. And a lot of times when he's been on the pitch, that just shows a shift. Something has changed in O. Something has clicked. It's that St Mirren goal. It seems as if all the pressure is away from him now. And, he had the option to pass it, to square it to Forrest. He does what any good striker does and is so greedy and just takes it, rifles it. Yeah. I love the celebration. I love everything about it.
The St Mirren goal showed him that he can make a valid contribution, Ryan. That is
delighted for him. Absolutely delighted.
The one that takes the weight of the world off your shoulders. That you can make a valid contribution. You've contributed to a wonderful 3 points, a crucial 3 points, because you're going to look back at that as one of the most crucial 3 points in the season. Come May, hopefully you're celebrating another title, but you'll look at that game and say that was pivotal, that was crucial. So, and I think, as you say, he's came on, new lease of life about him, and determined to make an impact when he came on. And he's done it before, scored a couple of goals against Aberdeen when he
Aberdeen are sick of the sight of him.
Yeah, So Dennis Jameson, so pleased for all that'll do his confidence world good. Of course it will. And TJ Lindy saying,
I love this comment. Absolutely love this comment.
He's such confidence. That's what makes you can tell he's worked hard. He's learned a new language in 6 months, and he's got a good personality as well. Indeed, and that's what you do. You assimilate yourself into the culture whenever you're away from home, and you work on everything to do with that culture. You learn the language, and he's at home now with his teammates, methinks, and you can see that. Very happy, and long may that continue. And you do have a striker who you rely on now, and I think that's the thing for him. His confidence is surging because I think he knows that the supporters can rely on him now. That's they're not casting aspersions or saying, undecided or jury out type thing. They're starting to say, "O's a weapon now. That's something else in Celtic's arsenal that can score goals moving forward."
Yeah, it's great to have that second option now, finally. We've been worried about the fact that Kyogo's got too much pressure on his shoulders to deliver in terms of a striking option. The good thing is for Kyogo is that there's a lot of goal scorers in and around this Celtic team. The striker's just the furthest forward in this team because there's 4 or 5 players that can get on the score sheet, which is absolutely brilliant, and it's a defender's nightmare. If we can go back, there's actually something I forgot to talk about with regard to Lewis Palma. Nicky Devlin will be having nightmares for this international break because he was getting absolutely rinsed by
Doctored.
Lewis Palma down that left-hand side. That was a mismatch, and I don't understand why Aberdeen didn't double team him sooner in terms of double marking him and putting two men on him. Very, very difficult to do so when Celtic have got so many weapons in and around. They've got a weapon on the other side in Yang. They've got midfield weapons like O'Reilly, Cal McGregor as well, Odenholm when he was on the pitch. Very, very difficult.
Turnbull.
Just going back to Turnbull as well when he came on. We can't. It's difficult. It's sometimes difficult to bring him up, but he's doing the business when he's called upon. He's scoring goals. And Turnbull, but O is as well. I think he will get called up for South Korea during the Asia Cup. Jurgen Klinsmann seems to really, really rate him, which is good news for Celtic, but they'll feel the negatives of that when he's not available. The same for Kyogo. That's if he recovers from his injury time. You'd presume that would be the case. Just a bit of recuperation at home will do him the world of good. But in his last 3 games domestically, he's scored 3 goals. 3 goals in 3 games for O as well. That's more becoming of a Celtic striker than his record beforehand. I think when the first one goes in, there'll be many that go in. I think he's going to be a very, very useful weapon for Celtic going forward. I think Celtic still need a third striker, but O's going to do the business definitely if he's getting that service, especially from Palma. It's the undefendable cross from Palma that's transpired into becoming a goal at Motherwell, because I think it was a cross and then it turned into a shot due to how accurate it was. It went past Kelly in the Motherwell goals. Again, 2 undefendable crosses where the defenders can't touch it, or it will just go into a danger zone. It hits Yang and then it hits his fellow countryman and O, and they both get on the score sheet. So all in all, a very good day for those 2 players.
Hazel Finn makes a great point. O's great at holding up the ball as well. He doesn't get pushed off it too easily. He doesn't, and I like that about him. He's a big unit, isn't he? He is hard to knock off the ball, and I like strikers. I like ones with guile and craft, like Kyogo, who are fast and nippy and can get into the spaces and can score those kind of goals that he scored today. But I like strikers also that can rummel them up if need be, Ryan. And he does.
Issue.
He rummels them up, doesn't he? And you look at Celtic in the past, Chris Sutton in the commentary box, he was a rummel them up type striker, wasn't he? And then you had Larsson with a guile on the craft. You had Hartson who could rummel them up as well. So traditionally Celtic always had the kind of mix and match strikers, no big guy, small guy type thing, and I love that. I love that variety. And Brendan Rodgers mentioned that today as well, talking about Yang being assured and the variety, and Palma as well. But I like the variety in the striking department as well, where you can mix it up if need be, or you can play the wonderful football that led to Kyogo's goal today, and it was some wonderful football that they played for some of the goals. So I'm just pleased today, just really pleased, because I don't think you were entering into the game with trepidation. We both said 3-0 and 4-0 in respective scorelines. It's just great to be wide of the mark on that, isn't it? Because Celtic hammered in
definitely 6. That way, absolutely.
So,
not so good the other way about, but thankfully that wasn't the case today.
Two totally different and contrasting emotions from 2 6-0 results. The one on Tuesday night, you're crestfallen and you're feeling very low, and then tonight you're back up there again. So I think on you go.
I think that one can't happen without the other, though, and I think Celtic played with a controlled anger today. They wanted to take it out on whoever was going to step up to Celtic Park today. Unfortunately, it was Barry Robson's Aberdeen that felt the brunt of it. But
the backlash, Ryan, is that what you're talking about?
There definitely was backlash. There was anger in their play. Palma wanted to prove a point today that he was. That he is coming for Matt O'Reilly's Player of the Year nomination. I think. Look at the numbers. I don't think it's too early to say that. He's only been here since September. So it's September, October, nearly 3 months now that he's been at the club. And instantly he's making impact game after game after game. Domestically, he came on against Ross County at Dingwall, changed the game completely, added a bit of oomph, especially with that shot, and then a great pass to Forrest again. But he's shown his variety and he's passing as well, and he's crossing. They're very different crosses. Look at the outside of the foot from to O's goal. I think that was the fifth goal of the afternoon going into the evening. And then that first goal that was for Yang, it was a different cross altogether. So he's shown his variety when it matters. That then means that he's not predictable. He's unpredictable with his movements and what he's going to do with the ball. Nicky Devlin didn't know what to do with him at all. He was, and look at him at the end. I mean, in the run up, in the lead up to, who was it? Was it David Turnbull's goal? There's a point where he's doing step overs in like the 89th minute. It was a joy to behold watching him play. He's the sort of player that they say gets bums off seats. He definitely is that player. He's a frightening talent.
As I said before, he's now feeling comfortable in his own skin, comfortable in his Celtic jersey. He has settled in very, very well, likes the environment, likes the surroundings. And I think with players like that, I think the manager sends them out with a message, go and do what you can do. Just unleash them and say, you're a talented boy, go and show why. And he's starting to grasp that, isn't he? You know, there was talent there and there was no end product for a couple of games, but now there is that end product. Ever since the Motherwell game, he's just been on an upward trajectory. You know, when he scored the kind of cross-come shot, but meant what he was doing put into that area, and he's gone upwards, skywards since then, and he's now grasping that, you know, you cannot afford to slack off as a Celtic player, you know, because it's you know, the inevitable happens when you slack off and you rely on others around you to dig you out a hole. Sometimes they don't. So, you know, I think since the Motherwell game, he's been pretty solid, hasn't he? He's been very dependable. He's very consistent. And he's starting to show some real form now, starting to hit a wee purple patch. And long may that continue, because I think, as you say, there's plenty more in his locker. And
just having a wee look at his... you're completely right with what you're saying with regard to Palma, because just looking at the stats, and I've got the BBC sort of top scorers and top assisters. Matt O'Reilly's at the top just now with 5 assists and 6 goals. Palma's got 5 assists and 4 goals. He's slowly catching, but the difference is
he's coming.
O'Reilly's played 4 more games than Lewis Palma.
Yes.
You know, how many is Palma going to get in those 4 games? He's probably going to catch up with him, if not surpass him, in the goal contributions.
Yeah, so that's the Jota boxes that you wanted ticked. I'm not comparing them in terms of ability, because the Celtic supporters will undoubtedly have their favourite. But first and foremost, what you wanted with Jota was you wanted replacement in terms of the goals and assists. So that's good. 5 and 4 in the short space of time he's been there is good, and those figures are going to improve. Natalie, no, it's a Benetton top. I'll just a Benetton rugby top. There it goes.
Love that. Good colours though.
Old school, 1980s old school. Because I'm a Celtic dad, you know what I mean. So,
Tony, I was just I was wondering why the views were a wee bit down just now, and then I had a look at the Chelsea Man City game. It's an absolute cracker that's on. No wonder people are watching that, but I'm sure there'll be loads of people watching post that coming back into it.
3-2 the last time. Is it still? What's
it's
it?
4-3
4-3 now. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but still over 100 people, 121 people joining us live. So we
appreciate everybody joining us, especially on a Sunday night as well.
Correct. We appreciate that, and it is a Sunday night, so and people will have enjoyed that. Maybe want to go and watch the highlights again of Celtic destroying Aberdeen 6-0.
I'm just going to bring the... sorry.
No, you go. No problem. Jota who? Palmer's getting better and better every game. Yes, that's right. On you go.
Could you imagine if Celtic had both of them? Could you imagine if Celtic had Palmer and Jota? Crazy. Michael Ross said, the funny thing is some folk on here still don't rate Palmer. Unreal. He's a superb footballer. I know Michael Ross will be delighted with the fact that Tomoki Iwata got some minutes off of the bench as well. And that's good. I liked seeing that as well. I thought there was some really smart sub by Brendan Rodgers. He didn't want to risk Kyogo whatsoever. I think he was dazed when he was walking off the pitch. He looked as if he was a bit groggy, so no wonder he was coming off the pitch. Yang came off a couple of minutes after his sort of knock. He put his body on the line for the team once again. Did it at Dingwall. Now he's doing it at Celtic Park. That'll stand him in great stead under the manager. As a manager, it's a player rather that's willing to put his body on the line where it hurts and try and make something happen. But yeah, the fact that Cal McGregor was able to come off and then you bring on Tomoki Iwata, that's a sub that I want to see more often, especially when the game is over. You know, Iwata, I think, is a very, very able player to come on and keep things tight and pull off a couple of really good passes as well. I thought he looked good when he came on. Looks different because of his haircut. You know, he's got rid of the long hair. He's got more of a shorter look. You know, I thought he was really, really good when he came on as well. It was quite a nice wee cameo from him.
I think everybody in games like today want to come on and play their part, don't they, and get involved, because there was a good team effort today by everybody. Greg McVeigh, first time he's watched since Tuesday. He's one of those that can't face a podcast until Celtic get a win. Great result today. Love the show as always. Thank you very much, Greg. Appreciate that. That's very, very kind. Welcome back, as they say. So there you go. But Francis Leicester's penalty to Chelsea.
It's a crazy game. Very, very crazy game.
We are missing out, allegedly, but I'd rather still talk about the leather belts,
absolutely,
the Marjorie Proops, and fuzzy felts any day of the week before Man City and Chelsea, or Chelsea Man City. But yeah, Hazel Finn saying, really hope Brendan Rodgers considers Palma for free kicks next. It's a no-brainer. Goals. Yeah,
I just like his technique.
He'll get on them, and he will score one eventually. It's a fact, because he has got superb technique, and took a decent penalty today as well. As I say, wasn't a fan of the run-up. Don't like all that kind of mucking around and trying to con the goalkeeper, but hey, he buried it, so I don't care. As long as he bury it, that's fine.
I love it. I'll be honest, I love when a player does that, but you know, as long as it ends up in the back of the net, you know, it could scuff off anybody and then go in the back of the net. Correct. A goal is a goal, and if a penalty goes in the back of the net, regardless of how they hit it, it's a good penalty. I'll always make that point.
Yeah, but listen,
and it was a great penalty. It was a perfect penalty.
As long as it goes in, of course, it's a great penalty. It doesn't matter how it goes in. It goes in, then it's a fine penalty. But we've just had our problems in the past with penalties, haven't we? So it's nice to see somebody that confident they do that kind of run up and dispatch it with ease and coolly, as they did. Francis Leicester saying he can talk and listen. There you go, multitasking the man. Hey. Watch and listen, even, yes.
It's 4-4 now, by the way.
Is it 4? One for match of the day later if you're that way inclined. So there you have it. But I think I'd rather just watch Sports Scene and watch this all over again.
And yeah, I'm definitely going to be tuning in for that later on tonight.
Watch Absolutely. It knowing you're not writing about it, and you know, and your eyes are all over the place thinking of other things to write about. But outstanding today, says Mark O'Neill. Keep it up, Celtic. It was indeed. And TJ Lindy saying, is Palma our new penalty taker because Owen Turnbull were on the pitch?
I think so. I thought Owen was going to get it.
Forward thinking players, I'm always on the side of them. Wingers, strikers, taking the penalties. So that's just the way I think. So I'm hoping he is on the penalties, because it was very good. And he's on it till he misses, isn't he? Basically now, I think it's his ball. Absolutely. It's his ball, as they say, Ryan, until he misses. But there you have it. But yeah, 125 people with us tonight. So all good, guys. Thanks very much. We enjoy your company on a Sunday night. I think
if we missed out anybody, I thought. No, although he didn't need to do a lot of defending, there was a couple of really, really nice moments from Cameron Carter-Vickers. His distribution. Yeah. I think one thing that is very underrated about Carter-Vickers, and you notice it when he's taken out of the team, is how quick he distributes the ball from defence into midfield or attack. If he wants to miss it out, he's so quick in getting the ball out of his feet. And Liam Scales is learning from him, because Scales' distribution is a lot better. It feels like a long, long time ago, that game against St Johnstone, where he took about 5 or 6 touches. You know, Liam Scales, there was a point where Liam Scales, I was like, just head of the ball. Instead, no, he does a nice wee deft touch and it goes up for a counter-attack for Celtic. You know, I'm still underestimating Scales at this point, but he doesn't deserve that, because he's proven it time and time again.
I think Aberdeen had one moment in the game, and it was Johnny Hayes' left foot shot, which he screwed well wide of the target, and that was it. That's all they did. Granted, they were in on goal. We probably should have done a lot better with it, but I think that just summed up their day, didn't it? That got a free shot at goal and it ended up a damp squib. So, yeah, I big up the Celtic players for keeping a clean sheet. I mean, never saw Joe Hart at all during that game. Never saw him, and the guys have still got to keep their concentration levels, at their peak in case any. I mean, Duke came on, Majowski was on as well, wasn't he? Just snuffed them out, no problem. They're two good footballers, as we spoke about
Skills
pre-match.
Skills won every duel. I think
Every duel, yeah.
Majowski.
Yeah, be interesting to see the underlying stats from that as well. But yeah,
absolutely,
didn't feel under threat at all today, mainly because of the way Celtic played. I still want to see Alistair Johnson burst the net with one of those mad shots that he likes to have every now and again. There was one in the first half.
It was like Izagiri, one of the shots. It just went. I think it was closer to the corner than it was to the actual goal. But yeah, he's definitely got something in his locker with regard to that. I thought Taylor was a lot better today as well, to be honest. I thought Taylor had a much better game. His distribution was good. His midfield play was good.
There wasn't a failure, Ryan. Let's be honest. When you win 6-0, it's very hard to, have any kind of negativity surrounding the team performance. So I was just delighted with the reaction to midweek today. It was excellent. And as I say, it's two contrasting fortunes in terms of 6-0 scorelines. So you're back up there again in terms of how your mood is, and it was good. That's you kind of felt that was in Celtic's locker, didn't you? Someone was going to cop it at some point. I think Aberdeen were unlucky to, be on the receiving end of that, and they've had their own travelling issues and playing in Europe and stuff like that, and you felt for them a bit because I think that was their 5th away game on the spin, the commentator was saying, including Europe. So, and playing at Hampden in the semi-final. So, that's a big ask. Maybe just ran out of steam today, and and we're on the receiving end. But I don't think any team would have lived with Celtic today when they were in that mood. They were just hungry, and even going right to the death, scoring 3 goals in injury time, sort of typified the spirit and the attitude, and put a more or a better and a more kind of rounded complexion on the scoreline, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think it would have been a bit of a travesty if it finished 3-0, to be perfectly honest with you, because they were that dominant in the game. Yes, they had that spell in the second half where maybe they weren't at their free-flowing best, but they turned it on when it mattered. I think they sensed that maybe Aberdeen were a bit of a wounded animal, and in the final 10 minutes, that I can't think of anything. I can't think of much worse than if you're down 3-0 and then you see that 10 minutes have been added. To hit that quick fire free and in and around that 10 minutes. In fact, I don't know if it was 4-0 by the time the 10 minutes came up. I don't know the exact times. I need to go back in and have a look at it. But
I think there was
know that they conceded quite
3 injury time goals, certainly. Which was.
I'll just double check that.
Excellent. Yeah.
It just shows that they were hungry. They were really hungry. So Palma scored. It was 3-0 in the 77th minute, and then Turnbull scored in the 92nd, O scored in the 96th minute, and then O scored again in the 99th minute.
Yeah.
They probably seen that there was 10 minutes added time. O was like, this is my chance. I can feast on some really tired defenders here. And he certainly did. Talk about taking your opportunity when it really matters. David Turnbull too coming on, making a big impact. But yeah, I do reckon that the league could be closer this season again. So it's all about getting those that goal difference back up when it counts. Getting a 6-0 against Aberdeen can only help that cause.
Francis Lester, we never forced anything today. Thought Celtic's composure on the ball was outstanding. Passing is crisp and fast. Just a great effort from the players after the midweek debacle. Wholeheartedly agree with that, Francis. Just a great response to the exertions in midweek and the crushing disappointment. And I think it's be a long journey up the road for the Aberdeen boys tonight, won't it? In the back of that. So Celtic know how that feels, having been the victims of that in Europe in midweek. So, yeah. But you can only beat what's in front of you, Ryan, and Celtic made light work of a good Aberdeen team today who've got players that can hurt you, but they were made to look very ordinary, weren't they?
Yeah, I think they're a team of individuals, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they can't put that together, that team sort of ethic. Yes, they did it in Greece a couple of days ago, so maybe that is a bit of an unfair comment, but it just seems as if with Aberdeen, we seem to talk about their individual players. We'll talk about how good Miovski is in a game. We'll talk about how good Duka is in a game, or Connor Barron or Graham Shinney. They just haven't put it all together yet. And yeah, I still reckon that Barry Robson's got a job to do there for sure. He's got a bit of goodwill after that draw recently in the Europa Conference League. But a 6-0 draw, What am I even saying? A 6-0 drubbing is never a good look, regardless of who it's against. If it's against Rangers, if it's against Celtic, if it's against Kilmarnock or whoever, it's never a good look. And yeah, I think there'll be questions asked up north for sure.
Hazel Finn, Celtic were angry, but they dealt with it the right way. Great for the goal difference as well. Yeah, points were made as well. Hazel, we totally agree with him. So Michael Ross saying Aberdeen were woeful, mind you. They were woeful, yeah. But they'll get the ideal game to put it right next week, Ryan, if they want to.
Yeah, that's kind of how Aberdeen operated. To be honest, it seems like that anyway. That's definitely a game. That's definitely a game to get fired up for. It'll be interesting to see how that game transpires. But Celtic have only got to focus on themselves. I think they play Motherwell next. Is it Motherwell at home next?
Yeah, they do. Motherwell at home in 2 weeks'
Another
time,
team.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's a game for Celtic to potentially put a few past as well, because they're a team that's out of sorts as well. With regard, I think they're winless in their last 9 games. You can't really take form into it because there's an international break in between. It's a chance to regroup and try new things. But if it goes down to form and it goes down to how Celtic can play on the day, then it could be a very similar scoreline next time round as well.
Yep, it's going to be another long 2-week break, Ryan. I know you're off to Tenerife tomorrow, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going back again. Yeah, it's international break, so I'll take a wee break from the Celtic way as well. But I really do appreciate that.
It's international week, so Ryan must be a Tenerife bound, eh? That's it. But you go and enjoy your holiday, sir, and thank you for joining me. And if you enjoy what we do, we ask you all the time to subscribe to the Celtic Way. It costs you £4 for 4 months or £18 for the yearly subscription, and you can help support top quality football journalism covering the club you love. When you hit that button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. And we also thank MPH Group, and as you can see at the top, for all your plumbing, kitchens and bathroom needs. There. Go to MPH Group and they sponsor the Celtic Way briefings. And the briefings are brought to you by MPH Group, and they're Scotland's award-winning family-run all-trade specialist covering all of mainland Scotland. And every service you opt for automatically enters you into MPH's incredible holiday giveaway. And you could win a 7-night stay at the luxurious 5-star Moon Palace Resort in Cancun, Mexico. And they've got a winter promotion for you with winter rolling in. And if you're thinking of giving your home a heating system a boost, MPH has got an enticing Navien Boiler Winter Promotion just for you. And if you opt for a Navien boiler installation through MPH Boilers, not only are you choosing top-tier efficiency, but you're also getting a free Navien Internet Controller, and that little gadget can crank up your boiler's efficiency to an impressive 98%. And the cherry on top of that is that they're covering the first year's service with no added cost. And if you're wondering why Navien, well, they're gunning for the Product of the Year at the H&V News Awards, which is the equivalent of the Oscars in the heating world. And to top it all off, the Navien ON range comes with a 12-year parts and labours warranty even, and that gives you some serious peace of mind right there. So a big shout out to MPH, because they're nominated for the Small Company of the Year at the same awards. And MPH even offer flexible finance options. So gear up for the winter chill and consider making a smart move with MPH and Navien. And you'll find all the links to MPH's social media sites and telephone number in the description of this video. Ryan, thank you. You enjoyed Celtic's best domestic display of the season today. I would like to say I'm jealous, but I don't operate like that. But I'm a tad, just a wee tad. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed your day, even though it was inclement weather. But I'm sure Celtic's performance warmed you up.
Yeah, get the Honduran heat with Palma's lovely performance today. That certainly heated up proceedings. A bit rainy now. Need to drive home, but you're always driving home a wee bit happier with a 6-0 win Can't mask that any other way. 6-0.
Yeah.
You cannot grumble about that whatsoever.
And you're a Scotsman, so you can get that factor duffel coat out tomorrow when you touch down in Tenerife. But have a wonderful holiday, sir, and I'll see you in a week's time, mate.
Perfect. Thank you very much, mate.
Yeah, and guys, it's always result dependent. Spring in the step after midweek. Celtic piling on the agony, putting on the style. Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Going to be a long 2 weeks again, guys, but we'll be here every day to talk Celtic, talk everything Celtic, and with various people filling in for young Ryan there, but he's away on holiday, lucky man that he is. But you'll, unfortunately, or good news or bad news, you'll see my face every day for the next couple of weeks. So, but hey, it is what it is. But guys, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We always appreciate you coming into the comment section, throwing in your tuppence worth. We like to read as many comments out as we can. It's time for sports scene, isn't it? Celtic 6, Aberdeen 0. Let's go and watch it all over again. Guys, take care. See you tomorrow. Ryan, have a wonderful time, and I'll see you in a week's time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Cheers again.